Hey team, this is Ron Jacobson. Welcome to this new year. As many of you recall, in last year we introduced the 4 disciplines of execution to the generation companies, and I believe that many of you agree that it's had a wonderful impact in how we run our businesses. I wanted to share a few thoughts with you as it relates to how we are approaching the 4 disciplines of execution in this year. As review, the first discipline is called Focus on the Wildly Important. What is so important to your business that if it doesn't happen, there's really no other reason for us to be here. We want to identify and focus with super laser clarity. Why are we here? What are we trying to achieve? And of course, in our world, it's all about guest satisfaction and running the occupancy we've budgeted and running the ADR, the average daily rate that we've budgeted. So you can see here, this is our wildly important goal. We want to radically serve our guests, and we want to achieve the budgets that we've indicated that we can achieve. That is a part of our wildly important goal. The second piece is we're acting on the lead measure. What are the lead measures or the action steps that we think, that we bet if we do them consistently enough, and if they're really smart, that we will achieve the wildly important goal? And I'll get back to these in just a minute in terms of examples. They have to be measurable, and we have to be willing to find a way to track them fanatically. The third discipline is the scorecard. We all know in business and in sports that we play differently when the team knows what's the score. So what's the score? Are we winning or losing against the action steps and lead measures and the wildly important goal? Are we winning or losing? Are we getting there or are we not? Is what we're doing working or is it not? The scoreboard will be very obvious to us, and we need to keep that current and fresh. So whenever our lead measures and action steps change, we need to update the scoreboard at least on a monthly basis. Number 4 is accountability. We want to create accountability all throughout the hotel, accountability all throughout the organization, so we do what we say we're going to do. And that is most prevalently found in our weekly huddle meetings. Those huddles at the property level are occurring every week with the decision makers and the folks who are mostly impacting the process of 4 disciplines, and helping establish the wildly important goals, helping establish the action steps, the lead measures that are impacting that wildly important goal. So we want to be able to huddle with the team. This can be very informal. It doesn't have to be fancy. All it needs to be is several people talking about, are we winning, are we losing on our action steps, are we making progress to our wildly important goal? If we are, let's keep doing it, let's celebrate wins. If we're not, let's change course, let's do something different, and let's challenge each other with what's working and what's not, and be bold enough to say it and to make course corrections. So, in a real life example, we have a hotel that says my wildly important goal is to reach on a 5.0 scale a 4.3 in guest satisfaction. They might want to achieve 75% occupancy for the month, and they might need their average daily rate to be $60. Acting on the lead measure, we would come up with bets that if we do these things, it would impact the guest satisfaction, occupancy, or average daily rate. So in guest satisfaction, that may be a number of things. That may be making sure that there is a callback log after every check-in, and the guest is called back, and their satisfaction is determined on that callback. It may be that there is a callback to every maintenance request to make sure that there's a level of satisfaction with that maintenance request. It may be recognition of loyalty customers, Priority Club and such. It may be a special recognition It may be a number of things, a host of things that you think, your team thinks, that if you do these consistently enough and you can track them fanatically and they're measurable, that it would impact the guest satisfaction score that you receive every month. On the occupancy, it may be attracting a certain number of apartment program customers via our Craigslist program. It may be your director of sales closing on a certain number of accounts in certain segments of length of stay. There will be a number of things that you could do to try and impact the occupancy, wildly important goal. Average daily rate, it may be weekly rate survey and keeping in close contact with how your competitors are pricing certain segments of their business. And so those are the types of things that you could do to impact your wildly important goals. And so those action steps need to be tracked. You can create little logs, you can create little tick sheets and determine for yourselves. Upsell 10 rooms this week, then you did or you didn't. And you can determine that through your log. And did we call every customer after they checked in? Look at the log. If you did or you didn't. And you determine, is that impacting your scores? Or is that creating the level of guest satisfaction? Is that achieving the occupancy? It either is or it isn't. And sometimes you take a bet. You don't know exactly. You need to try it for a month. You need to try it for a few weeks. And then you make some observations about whether that's working or not. So that's the kind of environment we want to be in this year. It's very important that we achieve our objectives this year. On a corporate basis, every week we are having these same kind of huddle conference calls with each other. So we're talking with the general managers in their various teams and with their area and regional managers and talking about the wildly important goal, the action steps that they're using, their scorecard, and the level of accountability they're creating. So you're very important to this process. I want to welcome you to this. If you have any questions, please shoot me an email or text me or call me and let me know what you think of our 4 disciplines of execution and the kind of impact that it may be having at your hotel. We want you to participate. So if you haven't been in the huddle meetings and you'd like to be, ask your general manager, can I come to the next one? And I'm sure he or she will invite you. Thanks very much for your participation. Hopefully you learned something, and look forward to talking to you next time.